All right, welcome back. Today is Wednesday, May 7th, 2025, and I am coming to you live from my home here in Sterling, Maryland. And I just realized my hair, you can really see pretty clearly how bald I'm getting, but that's all right. I'm growing it out because I'm not letting go. And also, I'm thinking about getting hair plugs this this summer when I go to Bolivia, because you can get hair plugs relatively cheap there, although that comes with, I guess, its own set of risk. But hey, when you want to look good, when you already have a beautiful canvas like this, then you got to take risks in order to be beautiful. But of course, my name is Addy, and I am here with you live tonight. For a change, I kind of want to dive straight into our project, because I have a mission that I want to accomplish tonight. However, I do want to start off with a game of chess. So let's go ahead and do that. I hope everybody's doing well. I hope you're having a fantastic evening and a fantastic week. Today is hump day, so we are past the midweek part of the work week. And, that is assuming that you work Monday through Friday, which a lot of you don't. And to those who don't, I respect you, because if you're working on the weekends or you're working late at night, I know how tough that is. It has been many years since I've done that, or I've had to do it. There's been plenty of times I've worked at night or on the weekends, but it's been a long time since I've had a job where I was scheduled to do 8 hours on a Saturday. And I'm very fortunate and lucky for that. So if that is your situation, no shade to you. I have nothing but the utmost respect, because it's hard. It's really difficult. I'll tell you that, when I have a day off, if I take a day off work, it's not the same. It's just not the same, as opposed to, oh geez, what's this guy doing? Do I go here? Yeah, I just got to go threaten his queen. This guy's just coming out, guns blazing. All right, he's going to give me his queen. Thank you. What is this? Okay. If only all of life was that easy. But what I was saying was, there's just something different about a 3-day weekend, or let's take Thanksgiving, for example. So if you have a 9-to-5 office job, chances are that you probably, on Thanksgiving week, chances are you probably have that Thursday and that Friday off work. And there's a different feeling when everybody has the day, and I'm going to use everybody in air quotes. It's a different feeling when, quote, everybody has the day off work, as opposed to you just taking a random day off work. It's very, very different, because when it's this whole feeling of solidarity, in a sense, because if you and everybody else has a day off work, it's it's a day off fun day. I don't know how to explain it. It's like a day off fun day because it's a holiday and everybody's off work, and it's a different feeling as opposed to you just take a random Tuesday off work. It's different. And I think, at least for me, part of why it's different, it's because I feel that if I take a random Tuesday off of work, it feels almost like I'm missing out on something. And Exception Cow says true. And I'm going to assume that Exception Cow is talking about what I'm talking about, where it's different. It's a different feeling. So I like it when, Thanksgiving week, when you have that Thursday and Friday and everybody has Thursday and Friday off. What is 4th of July on? Because if 4th of July is on a Tuesday or a Thursday this year, I'm going to take that Friday or that Monday off. It kind of sucks if it's on a Wednesday. I guess I could still take it off, but what is 4th of July on this year? Let's take a look. Okay, got it. Yeah, I've got it. All right, come on. Okay. Yes, I've got it. Come on. How many goddamn pop-ups are you going to give me, Google? All right, so we go to July. It's on a Friday. So I could take the 3rd off. Maybe I'll do that, have a nice 4-day weekend. But And also, here's a debate that Exceptional Cow, if you're still here, tell me what you think about this. Do you prefer having a Friday or a Monday off of work? Like what would you prefer to have off work? A Friday or a Monday? And for me, the answer is a Monday. I think. I don't even remember what I preferred now. I'm pretty like but let me think. Then let me genuinely think about it then, because I think it's a Monday. Because Friday is already kind of like a day off work, right? It's you're working, sure, but you have this anticipation of the weekend. You know that it's Friday. You know that the weekend is tomorrow. You know you can go home and get hammered, and that's it. Like you're done. Like you don't have to worry about tomorrow, because it's all right if you don't get out of bed until 2 p.m. because you're so hungover from all the screwdrivers you drank the night before. I'm not talking from personal experience, but personally, I want that Monday off work, because Friday is already kind of like a day off work. And now I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, well, if you take the Friday off, then the Thursday is like a Friday, but not really. The Thursday is still a Thursday, because it's not the same feeling. Exceptional Cal says Monday because Friday we feel excited. My man. My new favorite listener, and currently my only one, but my new favorite listener, Friday. Yes, exactly. Because Friday, you're like filled with endorphins from that Friday, because it's the weekend. Fuck yeah! And so it's easier to get through the workday. Where if you take Friday off work, you still have that Sunday night blues, right? But if you postpone that Sunday night blues to Monday because you've had Monday off, it doesn't hit quite as hard. So I don't, and I think Sundays in general, the blues hit a little bit harder because things are just naturally slower on Sunday. Like not so much these days, but some stores, they close earlier on Sundays, or like I swear, the only time I ever want Chick-fil-A, I don't eat Chick-fil-A a lot, but the only time I ever want Chick-fil-A is on a goddamn Sunday. But Sundays they're quieter. So there's something about that makes it a little more depressing, knowing you got to go to work the next day. But I don't know. But a Monday night where you've been off for Saturday and Sunday and Monday, it doesn't hit as hard as a normal Sunday, like a Sunday night does. So I'm glad Exceptional Cal. Yeah, definitely between a Friday off or a Monday off, I'm taking the Monday. And it looks like the July 4th is on a Friday, so I will happily take the Friday off. I'm not going to say no. I'm going to work on Friday because I would prefer Monday off. And even though I'm not getting Monday off, I'm still going to work. No, I'm not going to do that. I'll still take the Friday off. Now, I might take the Thursday off too. I'll have to think about that. But I'm planning on traveling. Oh, you know what? Now that I have your attention. All right. So here's what my plan is: to be gone for 6 weeks. And my plan is to be home by the 24th of August. So let's work backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. So I was planning on leaving like July 4th to go somewhere and then not returning until the end of August. But I will not plan that trip on stream unless somebody really wants me to. But generally, I feel like it's kind of douchey to plan my trips on the stream. But all right. And Razman is in the house. Chick-fil-A closes on Sundays. The owners are Christian. I know that. And that's what I was saying. The only time I ever want Chick-fil-A is on a Sunday. Why is my dog... Can you hear that idiot? I'm going to shut the door. I'll be right back. Shut up! All right, boys. Okay. But yeah, no, that Razman, that's what I was saying. It's like the only time I ever want Chick-fil-A is on a Sunday. I was when I went to Fiji a few weeks ago, I'm in the airport and I'm looking for I had like an hour to kill before I had my flight. And I'm like, I want to get something to eat. And then in the distance, I see a Chick-fil-A sign. And I'm like, oh, that would be really good. I'm going to go to Chick-fil-A. No, it was Sunday. So, yep. All right, so let me show you what I was working on while we were not on stream. What I was working on off stream, is... So I have lots of big ideas, right? But at the same time, I need to calm down with these big ideas and get the basic mechanics working. So the mechanic I started working on was just having an item in the game that you can simply pick up. I don't know what's going on with Unity. It's kind of just stalling. Okay, so here's where we got with that, or where I got with that while I was off stream. So here's our green guy, and then here there's a knife, and I can hover over it, and that's about as far as we got. Press E to pick up item, right? And that's as far as we got. We don't have a context menu. We don't have anything else, but we're going to get there, and we're going to get there tonight, and we're going to get there together. Think of it as a journey that we're taking together. Let me know how the volume of the music is. I feel like it's a little loud. I'm going to turn it down, but let me know if it's too loud. Okay. So a couple of lessons learned with this when I was working on this just the other day, like literally just last night, yesterday evening. The items that I want to be pickable, uppable, they have to have a collider, because the collider is in order. The hover works by doing a ray cast roughly from the eye level of the player's character in whatever direction you're looking, and then whatever the raycast intersects with, that's the thing you're looking at. That's the thing that's going to draw a pop-up. And of course, in order to intersect, you have to intersect with something, and that something is a collider. So I had to find the collider on the knife, which is right here. It was actually, I was like, why doesn't the top level object have a collider? I still don't understand why. Like, maybe it's just this asset, I don't know. But what I did was, I had to put the interactable script, I had to put that onto the item that had the collider. And you can see here we have a command menu. I started to, I was very proud of myself because I had already pulled the interactableness. I already pulled that out into an interface, I believe. Let me look it up really quick. Actually, I'll look at this. So what I want to do is I want to figure out the class design. I want to hammer that down, and then let's see, edit script. So right now, this is just a generic item interactable, and it inherits from the interactable interface. I think this should be a base class, which, okay, you're free to use it as a base class. And then I would imagine different items have different menus, right? This command menu is it's the menu we're using for the NPCs. And you can see here, I commented it out because this command menu .open command, it takes a this, but it expects that this to be a base NPC. I think my dog wants in. Hold on. So it would make sense for. I was getting ready. So here's also what I'm thinking. A lot of the times I talk about how I get a lot more done on stream as opposed to by myself because I'm talking to you guys, but often while I'm talking, I'm thinking it through, and then I will say something that I hear myself say, and then I'm like, that's a bad idea, so I can reverse course. If I never talked it through, I wouldn't hear myself say it, and I might plow forward with the bad idea. Foodie Haven says, love from Morocco. Hey, man. Love from the U.S. I want to visit Morocco one day. Exceptional Cow says, only day of the weekend that you feel good is Friday night and Saturday. Sunday is ruined because you feel like, oh, man, I got to go to work tomorrow. I agree. And actually, I would say that I enjoy Friday night probably the most. If you talk about Friday night, Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, and then Sunday morning, I would say I probably enjoy Friday night the most because it's the beginning of the weekend. I know that I can go to sleep and wake up when I want, and I don't have to worry about getting up at any time. I think I enjoy Friday night the most. Let me know what you think. Let me know. Okay. So I was getting ready to say, I think it would make sense for the items to be a subclass of item interactable. But I think that's true, but I don't know that it is true, that it will be true for all items, right? Like, think about like a knife and a spoon. Or not, think about a spoon and a fork. I'm trying to think. Like a spoon and a fork could probably just both be a generic item. And I'm trying to think, okay, well, what properties do items need that are relevant to the game? And one property might be damage inflicted. I'm not sure how to word that or what we would call that variable, or damage done, damage value, damage score, something like that. Basically, some value that represents, if I use this thing as a weapon, how much damage does it cause? And actually, you could even, so there should even be a, can this be used as a weapon? And then damage done, or what did I say? Damage. I came up with a better one, but now I've already forgotten it. Damage score, I think, is what I kind of like. Damage score. But now I'm thinking again, talking it through, just kind of talking while I'm thinking, or thinking while I'm talking. Now I'm thinking, well, maybe you should have a weapon subclass. No, maybe. I think this is a classic case of where maybe what we need to do is we just need to decide on a path forward, go with the path forward, and if we encounter any problems, then we can always, we're not married to anything, right? We're not married. I mean, some of us are married, but we're not married to this, right? We're not married to this. So let's just push forward. You need to start using scriptable objects, aren't I? What's a scriptable object? Let me see. I mean, I don't know. What's a scriptable object? Let's find out. My good buddy and life partner, Razman, not Tasman, Razman the Singleton Man, I like that. The Razman the Singleton Man says that I need to start using scriptable objects in Unity. What exactly is a scriptable object? Let's find out what it is. I don't know what it is. I mean, I thought I kind of was like, an object that you attach scripts to, but maybe there's something else. Okay, your buddy Razman the Singleton Man is absolutely right to nudge you towards scriptable objects. They're one of Unity's most underrated and powerful tools for organizing and scaling game data. A scriptable object is a Unity class, just like MonoBehavior, got it, that you can store data independently of scenes or game objects. Okay? Unlike MonoBehavior, it doesn't live in the scene hierarchy. Instead, it's an asset saved to disk. Okay? Think of it as this. A light... There's a spider. I don't want to kill him. I don't like to kill. I don't like to kill anything. Except mosquitoes. Fuck mosquitoes. But like spiders, especially, even ants. Like if I'm walking on the sidewalk and I see an ant and I'm getting ready to step on it, I will change my gait so that I don't step on it. I don't like to kill things. All right, he went away. Where the hell did he go? Oh, there he is. Okay, all right. I'm gonna watch him. I will kill in self-defense if I have to. Okay, what was I completely lost my train of thought. Scriptable objects. Okay, stores a lightweight serializable data container that lives outside your scene, great for reusability, modularity, and separation of data from behavior. Okay, all right. For your survival tower game, scriptable objects are especially good for defining enemy types. What? I was using prefabs. I thought that's kind of what prefabs were, but maybe this is a better way. Creating item data, Molotov stats, flashlight power, storing dialogue lines or voice triggers, representing floors, saving properties. Okay, let's look at some examples. An example enemy scriptable object. Create asset menu, file name, new enemy, menu name, game enemy type. Enemy name, health, patrol speed, chase speed, death sound. So that's kind of what I was doing over here in the base NPC class. So it sounds almost like my base, well, let's see. So I had enemy NPC and then I had base NPC. Okay, this throws a wrench into everything because now I don't know I'm like rethinking everything, like my life, my career, my marriage, like everything is like thanks to Razman, I am now questioning my own reality. Now in the editor, you can right click create game enemy type, fill in the data, and reuse this config across multiple enemies. No duplication, no prefab mess. Okay, so I guess I didn't know about this, so I was trying to like shoehorn prefab into this, it sounds like. Benefits to you specifically. Dry principles. You avoid hard coding and duplicating data. I was kind of already doing that. Clean architecture. Treat data as a first-class citizen. Decouple from runtime logic. I like that. Easy tuning. Serialization friendly. Okay. I have questions. Like, how would I associate the data with an actual... Like, because I have this knife sitting here, right? Like, this knife is just sitting here. So how would I associate a scriptable object with the knife, with this model? Because this is essentially an asset model, a model asset. How do I associate the two things together? Let me look at this. Scriptable object, enemy type. Create asset menu. I'm not sold on this yet. It sounds like it would be good for serialization, right? Like saving game state. But let me ask AI. All right. Okay. I'm going to ask AI. Razman, the Singleton Man's suggestion has thrown a wrench into things. Let me ask you. Okay, no, I don't need it. Okay. I want to define items that can be picked up and used as weapons or for other things. I was starting off with a knife, and I figured the knife can be picked up and used as a weapon to do damage. Hence, it would probably have a damage. Of course, wait, did somebody call me? Oh no. Have a damage score, i.e., how much damage it does. All right. I have a model of a knife. If I have an item scriptable object with name knife and a damage score of 1, for example, how would I associate the scriptable object with the model of the knife? All right, let's see what this says, since Razman, the Singleton Man, cannot give me an answer. Since, no, I'm kidding. Ah, yes, welcome to the Great Scriptable Object Awakening, courtesy of Razman, the Singleton Man, with a trademark. I like this. I like how, do you see that, Razman? I like how AI literally put in, literally put in a little trademark symbol right there. Razman, the Singleton Man. All right. So, okay. You're absolutely on the right track. Here's how to associate a scriptable object item with a 3D model prefab like your knife, so the logic, e.g. the damage score, and the representation, mesh collider, etc., work together seamlessly. First, define the item data. Okay, we got that. Perfect. Easy. Are you fucking kidding me? Okay. Okay. It has a prefab as a data member. So what the fuck is the difference, other than the serialization? What the fuck is the difference between just having a free-floating class like base NPC or something like that? What's the difference between having a free-floating class that I literally just drag over to the prefab and now it's part of my prefab? What's the difference between that and this? The prefab field is a reference to the knife model prefab. You assign it via the Unity inspector. So this just reverses things. Because now you take a script and you put it into the menu on the left-hand side. You take the script and drag it into the menu, and then you take the prefab and drag it onto the inspector. As opposed to taking the prefab and dragging it onto the left-hand side and taking the script and dragging it into the inspector. That's all this has done. It has just flipped it. That's all it's done. Right-click in the Assets folder. Go to Create Game Item. Name it Knife Item. Okay. Oh, wait. Okay, so item will be... So once... Wait a minute. Yeah. So I guess once I do this, item will appear in here. Create game. Where's game? I don't see game. Maybe game will appear after I do this. Create game, game item, name it knife, item in the inspector, item name knife, damage 1. Drag your knife prefab into the prefab slot. This is literally just a reversal. That's all this is. And now it's telling me how to do the pickup stuff. I know how I want to do the pickup. Create a pickup component to spawn the knife. Why would I want to pick up item to spawn the knife when you picked up, like, I don't care about like the pickup stuff and how we do the inventory and all of that. That's fine. Like, I'm not worried about that. Like, literally, all this has done is just reverse the process. And I'll admit, I always say, I am not a Unity expert. I am new to Unity. We've been working on this game for 5 months? Since I think maybe before the new year, maybe a little bit, like before I left for Norway. So maybe 6 months, and that's very part-time. So not a lot. I'm very new to Unity. So maybe there is some advantage to doing it this way, but this literally just seems like it's just flipped it. Like, do you understand what I'm saying, Razman? Like, this is like literally what I would do now is I would drag the prefab over to what is this? The hierarchy. I would drag the prefab over to the hierarchy, and then I would highlight the hierarchy, and then I would drag the script to the inspector. All this does is just turn the script into something I drag into the hierarchy, and then I put the prefab into the inspector. Like, I guess this... No. I was going to say, I guess this is good if I, for example, wanted, like, to have a special power knife that did double damage or something. But even in that case, it's still, okay, well, I just create another... This is the most ridiculous thing. Okay, I'm gonna ask AI. Okay, this seems stupid. Normally, I would drag a prefab from my assets to the hierarchy. And then I would take a script and drag it into the inspector as a component of that prefab. Oh, no. Okay. I would drag the prefab from my assets into the hierarchy. A prefab that already had the script attached to it. This scriptable object seems like all it does is reverse that process. I drag the script into the hierarchy and then drag the prefab into the inspector. Am I nuts? Or is that all this is doing? Let's see what the AI says. You're not nuts. In fact, that insight is exactly what most seasons devs feel when they first use scriptable objects. It does feel like you're just flipping the order. With mono behavior, prefab centric, you make a prefab, put your script on it, and customize the data per instance. With scriptable objects, data centric, you make the data asset and other things like pickup logic, inventory, read from a centralized definition. So what's the real difference? It's subtle but powerful. Okay. Here's why scriptable objects matter. Scriptable objects matter. Oh, jeez. Okay. Well, I had a closed fist. That was a closed fist. Don't cancel me. For God's sakes, please don't cancel me. Okay. Every knife instance in the game reads from the same knife item. Okay. So change damage score from 1 to 3. Boom. Every knife updates. No prefab editing. No. Okay. That's fair. So if I have 50 knives on the level, like if I have 50 knives throughout the level and they do a damage of 1 and I want to change it to 3, I have to go to every single one. Let me think about this. I have to go to every single one and I'm still not convinced. I would have to go to every single one and change it to 3. But let's say I had a special one that was 5. Then I'm going to have to go back and change that one to 5. The other way, no, because changing the value in the prefab is not going to change the instances. I don't know that that's a good thing, honestly. I'm not convinced, but okay. All right. What you're working on says, I'm Thug Nasty 420. Look at this name. What a great name. I'm Thug Nasty. Thug Nasty, I'm working on a game. And you know what? I haven't done this in a while. I will put a link to the game in the chat so that you can check it out if you'd like. I will go ahead and do that. We are working on a video game in Unity using C#. And here is a link. I will put that into the chat of the mobile stream and I will pin the message. All right. So runtime sharing without duplicates, editor tooling, real world analogy, mono behavior only is like configuring each coffee cup one at a time. Scriptable objects is like defining the blueprint for a small red mug once, but it's not. It's not though. It's really not. I feel the prefab feels more natural to me because it's a model and then you're attaching behavior. Where this sounds like you have behavior and you're attaching a model. Right? Like it's a subtle difference, but yes, scriptable objects can feel backwards or overcomplicated at first, but they shine when you reuse or manage lots of similar data. You want a clean, decoupled architecture, and you want centralized tuning and balancing. For 1 or 2 items, sure, feels dumb. For 20 weapons, 50 keys, 100 props, it becomes essential. Okay. I am going to take a leap of faith. And even though And I will admit, again, I am new to Unity, less than a year of using Unity. So I am experienced enough to know when I am not experienced enough to know what I'm talking about. So I am going to trust the judgment of others who are more experienced than me. Even though it feels unintuitive, I'll do it. Okay, so the question then becomes, how do I incorporate that? Oh, Jesus. Okay. All right, I'm going to have to, we're going to work with AI on this. Okay, so here's my thing. All right, okay, help me then. Help me with this. I have an interactable interface where it defines, what does it define? Defines a focus, or on focus and off focus, or defocus. On focus, off focus. What did I actually call it? I don't even know what I called it. Interactable. Where did it go? Okay, it's right here. On focus, on defocus. Okay. And I'm going to put parentheses around everything so AI knows what is a method. Where it defines on focus defines on focus methods. And then, for example, I define those methods on friendly NPC objects that I can tell to do things like follow and stay. I want to put this interface on items 2. Wait a minute. Okay, step by step. Okay, define item data break. Okay. Did it tell me how to do it? Wait, what is a scriptable object? Why you use them? Example. Okay. Define the item data in a scriptable object. Okay, so let's start with this. It still feels wrong. It still feels wrong, but we're gonna go with it. We're gonna push forward. Let's just put it in the main. Let's just put it in the main folder for now. Is it a monoscript behavior? I guess it is a monoscript. Okay, let's. So we're gonna call this interactable. No, we'll call it item interactable. I like having the noun first. So item interactable.cs. Okay. So we're going to do, and I really dislike how, and this, I guarantee you that what I'm about to describe was a project manager decision, but I really dislike how Unity hides the extension of the file name. I hate that. And you can't even, there's not even an option to optionally show it. Like I think it's dumb, but okay, I get it if you want to have it turned off by default. Windows does this, right? Like if you go into Explorer by default, which I also hate, but I get it, Windows will not show you the extensions for file names. You have to go into the settings for Explorer and turn it on. As you can see, I have it turned on because I like to see the extension name. I don't hide data from me. Don't hide, especially valuable data like the extension name. Like that's important data. Don't hide it from me. But okay, at least in Explorer, I can turn it on. In Unity, no. Yes, I know I have a nice little icon over there with a pound sign that tells me it's a C# script. I understand that. I don't care. I still want to see the file extension. I hate that. God, I hate that. All right, so we're going to do this. So, I guess what I would do I named it item interactable. That might not even be a good name though. Okay, help me with this. I have an item interactable interface where it defines zone focus and interactive methods. Then, for example, I define this message. Okay, I want to put this interface on items too. So I'm thinking of something like, let me put this down. Let's see. So this has item data, and then I would have interactable, I guess. Interactable. Yes, like this. Okay. Does this make sense? Let's see what the AI says. If my thought process makes sense. You are so close to greatness, but there's a fundamental unity mismatch you've hit. Scriptable cannot implement runtime interfaces in the way you're intending because scriptable object does not live in the scene. They're data-only assets. You can't click, okay. You can't look at a scriptable. Okay, keep item data. So now I have to have... So now I have to have my data in one file. I have to have the interactableness in another file, which I guess... No. Because now I have to have the data in one file. I have to have the interactableness in another file. So what I would have to do then is I create a scriptable object into the hierarchy. Then I drag the interactableness over to the inspector as a component of the scriptable object, and then I drag the prefab as well. Whereas if I did this all as a prefab, I simply have the prefab, I attach, and I have all of this. I have all of this in one file, and then I just drag that file onto the prefab. I still do not see the advantage of this. And yes, separation of concerns. Sure. But you don't separate things just for the sake of separating them. Have a good reason. Is there any reason why I need to have the pickable upness of an item in a different file than the data for items? Oh, well, you might not want all items to be pickable upable. Okay, fine. Have a fucking Boolean that tells me that. That's all you need. A fucking Boolean. Can you pick this up? No. Oh, now I'm angry. I'm gonna... So let me get this straight. Right, did that work? Okay, allow while visiting the site. Okay, great. I can talk to AI. That's perfect. Okay, so let me get this straight. In order to use a scriptable object, I have to drag the scriptable object over into the hierarchy. Then I have to drag a prefab into the scriptable object settings in the inspector. And then I also have to drag the interactableness script, the item pickup script, into the inspector as well. As opposed to just using a fucking prefab where I can just I can have everything in one file that I drag once into the prefab and then use the prefab in the hierarchy. Is this correct? I was cussing AI out. Let's see what AI says. I love how it transcribed everything. Let's go with it. Okay. I'm not sure which answer I prefer yet. You are 99% correct in your assessment, but there's one key misunderstanding that's making you feel more annoying. This is a grammar. So my wife, she is Thai. English is not her first language. And it's cute because she'll make mistakes. You know, it's cute. This is one mistake she makes often. where she'll ask me something like, "Are you annoying?" And I know what she's really asking me is, "Are you annoyed?" Right? She's asking me, "Do I feel a sense of annoyingness?" And so she says, "Are you annoying?" But what she really means is, "Are you annoyed?" And I get it. It's a subtle difference. And it's, if English isn't your first language, it's a common mistake. I get that. I feel like AI is making this mistake too. I expect better of AI. Okay. It's making you feel more annoyed than... okay. I didn't read the complete sentence. So maybe AI is correct. That makes this feel more annoying than it actually is. Let me break it down. The prefab only way, what you're used to. Make a knife prefab. Add item pickup and no! Done. Drag scene, it works. This is simple, direct, fast when you're working on only a few items. Look at this, Razman. The scriptable object way. The Razman way with a trademark. I should correct AI and be like, no, it's Razman the Singleton man. No, come here. All right. There. I just wanted to do that. I just wanted to paste it into the chat. Okay, so the scriptable object, the Razman way. Create a scriptable object asset in your asset items folder. And that asset assigned a 3D prefab reference. Reference your model with the item pickup already. Okay, so this is saying put the pickable upness script onto the prefab that I then drag onto the scriptable object, which I want to say that is fair, but it's not fair, because what if there is data in the item data, i.e. the scriptable object, that I want the pickable upness to use? I guess it still could. I guess there's nothing stopping it. I guess there's nothing stopping it. I guess that's not a valid concern. That prefab is what you'll spot at runtime or manually place in the scene. The prefab already has the item pickup script. You don't drag. Okay, what you actually do, you drag the prefab into the scene, not the scriptable object. Here's the relationship. All right, I'm going to go with that response on the right. I was hoping to get tons of shit done tonight, and Razman comes in here and completely just throws a wrench into everything. Razman the Singleton man just ruins everything. And now he's saying, what happened? I had to take a call, job interview. What's more important, a job interview or this fucking stream? Get your priorities straight, my man. You know I'm just messing with you. All right. God damn it. So you got a job offer. Great. Is it a programming job offer, or what is it? What are you going to be doing? Let me guess. Okay, so let's see. You're Mexican. Live in Canada. I don't want to get canceled. I'm not going to say anything. I already did a closed-fisted salute while saying something that was questionable, so I don't need to do more. Luckily, only 3 people listen to this podcast, so I'm good, most likely. But... And what's going to happen is maybe in 2 years, I'll blow up for some reason and become popular, right? And then they'll go back and listen to my old shows and they'll find this one and be like, well, he did a semi-Nazi salute. And then the next thing you know, I'm canceled. I felt so embarrassed. I was on a work call. I was thinking the Azores, and I was talking about the cloud Azure. And then the guy is, you mean Azure? And I'm like, oh shit, yes, I mean Azure. I kept saying Azure. So an Azure DevOps. So I was thinking about the Azores, like the Azores, which are a group of islands in the middle of the Atlantic that belong to Portugal. I went there in 2023. The Azores, beautiful islands. The only reason I would like to redo that trip is because when I was there, I had traveled so much that I was just kind of like, oh, okay, another trip. And I know that is a very entitled, spoiled, gringo thing to say, and I apologize. But I was kind of burnt out of traveling at the time that I went there. And so I didn't really appreciate the Azores as much as I should have because they're beautiful. And there's also a bunch of islands, and I only went to one. Like, look at this. Look at this little group of islands. It's like the Azores and the Faroe Islands, like people have never heard of. The Faroe Islands are beautiful. Is the music too loud? All right, I'll turn it down. But what did I want to show you? I wanted to show you the Azores. So I went to Punta Delgada, which is right here, Punta Delgada, and I wanted to go. There was what is it called? Horta. I said Hobart earlier when I was talking to my wife. For some reason, I remembered it as Hobart, but Hobart's in Tasmania. But I wanted to go over here to Horta, which is a little smaller, but I didn't get to go to any of the other islands. But I did. But I circled this island when I was on it. And it took like about a day. It took you're able to circle this island in an entire day, as opposed to frickin' Fiji, which takes you like frickin' 12 hours to circle the island. But I really liked the Azores. They were pretty, and they were only like a 5-hour plane ride. Like from like, I had to go up to Newark. I couldn't get there from DC directly. I had to go up to Newark, and then there was a direct flight from Newark over to the Azores. And I'm gonna geek out for a minute, get a little distracted. There's a semi-famous aviation incident where there was a plane. I think it was going from Toronto to Paris. I think, pretty sure it left Canada. Pretty sure it was Toronto and it was going to Paris, and they had a fuel problem where about halfway through the flight, they realized they had no gas. Like they didn't even, there wasn't even a warning. They figured out they had no fuel when the engines just stopped running and all the electricity in the airplane just cut, right? And then the plane just goes to backup power. And then they're like, shit, we're gliding. And the guy, the captain, I forget his name, but he's a French guy. He did the longest glided flight of a commercial aircraft because he glided for like an hour, I want to say, but it was a long glide, and they had one shot to land, and they landed in Punta Delgada. And it's a very, what is it? Let's see. Aviation ran out of fuel, landed in Azores. Airbus 330, the Airbus A330 ran out of fuel, but Air Transat Flight 236, aircraft incident. Okay, took off from Toronto, like I said. Oh, it was headed to Lisbon, Portugal. Okay. But yeah, Captain Robert Pichet, French guy, Robert Pichet. And I saw this interview with him, and he's just like kind of like a badass, like he's this older, like badass guy. It's just like, no, it's no big deal. Anybody else would have done the same thing. I just happened to nail it, because I'm that good. I want to see what record, like it was a gliding record, I think, like something like that. I don't want to lie. Okay, how a civilian aircraft in distress set a world glider record. See, I'm not making this stuff up. Air Transat. Okay, we're gonna figure out what record he set, and then we're gonna get back to what we were doing. Let's see. By the end of the saved extremely the experienced crew. I'm just gonna look for the word record because I don't feel like reading. 2 pilots would set a world record. Oh, okay. Well, tell us what the record is. Setting the world record for the longest glider flight. Oh, so it was a glide. Transat 236 glided powerlessly with no fuel for almost 20 minutes. Oh, flying some 75 miles, setting the world record for the longest glider flight. The Airbus 330 Pichet landed that day, is still in service, and is now known as the Azores glider. It would be really cool. When was this written? What year was this written? This is written in 2022. It would be really cool to go on a flight that. Where is the Azores glider located? Oh, okay, the aircraft is no longer in service and is stored at Marana Penal Park. Where the heck is that? Air Park. I'm getting so distracted. This is why I never get anything done. I just want to know where this is. It's in Arizona. Okay. All right. Okay. I am going to take a leap of faith. I'm going to take a leap of faith. I don't like this. I don't like it. I'm just going to state that for the record. I really don't like it. But I'm going to go with it. All right? It seems bad, but I'm going to have trust in Razman. They don't call him Razman the Singleton Man for nothing. So I'm going to have trust in him. Why is there... Get this goddamn emoji out of my source code. I used to put emojis. I still do when I remember, but there was like a time where the team that I'm on, there was back before I was leading the team. Now I lead the team, but back before I was leading the team, I started to annoy the lead developer on the team because I would put emojis in my in my GitHub commits and my commit messages. He's like, "Why are there goddamn emojis in the commit messages?" I'm like, "Because they look nice." You know, like if I was fixing a bug, I would put like a little fire extinguisher with a flame and like stuff like that, like just weird stuff. All right. I put a cloud in there when we were writing something for the cloud. It was great. Okay. Just stop it, Eddie. Just stop it. Okay. All right. So, I'm not happy with this, but we're going to try it. So I just need the item data. So let's start out with that. Let's, all right. I know you're going to have errors. Just stop it. All right. So I want to create another monoscript and we're going to call this item data. And then we're going to have another script, I guess, that's going to be called item pickup, right? Item pickup will be attached to the knife prefab, and then item data will be the scriptable object that we actually instantiate. Okay, so let's start with item data. The item data is the scriptable object, so we'll take this, easy. Take that, we'll get rid of this. And we'll get rid of this. Okay, now, it's probably giving me an issue because of that. We'll just do that for now. Okay. Create asset menu. Where is that defined? Duplicate create asset menu. What? The namespace already... Okay, so this is taking issue with item data. I think it's taking issue because I had it in this file, but let me go back here and let this redo its thing. Redo its compilation, and then the Lexer should pick it up, I would imagine. I don't have any compilation errors. No, you don't. You don't have item data already defined. Unless item data is... Okay, let's... It has happened before where I have named something so generically that there already exists in some hidden library something of the same name. I wonder, is item data the same thing? Okay, well, could you tell me where it's defined? Where's the other one? Okay, I want to know if does the create asset menu, does it go away if... Okay, so that's there. Easy. Okay, so it went away. Okay, it fixed it. All right, file name. What is file name? The default file name used by newly created instances of this type. I don't like that, but okay. All right, so we're going to have item name. All right, I kind of like I kind of like that we have a sprite with an icon and damage score. I'm going to put this down here with this because you have like your UI stuff and then your actual data items. Okay, we're going to do that. Okay. And then we'll also do my thing where is pickable uppable? What would like if you can pick something up, then it is pickable uppable. What would be a good word for that? I can't think of anything. Is gettable? Is consumable? I guess we'll go with consumable. I'm not super happy with consumable, but we'll go with it. And actually, no, we'll set the true. You know what? For now, we're just going to assume everything is pickable, uppable. Screw it. Okay. So we got that. Perfect. Now, let's go. Let's go and item pickup. Put this over here. And then we're going to put this down here. Actually, I don't think I really need that. Item pickup. Does item pickup need to be... Does it need to be a mono behavior? I think it needs to be an item behavior. I think it needs to be a mono behavior if I want to attach it to the prefab. Let me know if the volume is still too loud. Let me know if it's still too loud. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that it needs to be... Okay, so we're going to have it as a mono behavior, but then it will also be interactable. And we'll go ahead and we'll... Where's my little option to just quickly resolve it? Quick fix. Implement interface. Okay. So we have this empty... All right. So we can come over here. We can delete this kitchen rusty knife. Wait, can we? Okay, I'm going to do this. Would you like to create a new original prefab or a variant of the existing prefab? Oh, I don't know. What's the difference? I mean, I want to create a copy. So I guess it's a variant. Let's go with that. Okay. Let's rename it. Kitchen knife copy. I don't know what the file. I don't know what the file extension would be because God forbid Unity actually tell you what the file extension is. Okay, let's edit this. And then we had our item interactable script here. I think we want to delete that. Then we want to attach the other. We want to attach the. Where did the script go? Item pickup. We want to attach that. Okay. Okay. All right, we're getting there. We're getting there. We're getting there. Just give me a minute, okay? Just calm down. Just calm down. Just calm down. All right. Trying to figure out what exactly we need. I think we need this. Right? Help text would be press E to pick up item. I'm going to put 2 exclamation points after it so we know we're looking at the right one. I'm pretty sure we're going to know that anyway, but this is something I like to do just to make it's like just to hammer home the point that yes. We'll also put some debug messages in there. The item is interacted with, and the AI was kind enough to put 2 exclamation points in there for me. We'll do the same with defocused, and we will do the same with focus. I don't think we need to. Oops, no. I don't think we need to do the same with start and update. Nothing to do. Nothing to do. Okay. And we can get rid of this right there. Okay. So, Razman, ayer encontré un trabajo para una posición para C Sharp y les envié a ellos mi resume y me escribimos hoy y quieren hablar conmigo. Es una empresa que es muy similar donde para mi trabajo normal que tengo ahora es muy similar. El tipo de trabajo es muy similar. Pero la posición, todo el trabajo es en C Sharp. Quiero hablar con ellos porque estoy disfrutando mucho trabajando en C Sharp. We'll see what happens. I did that in Spanish in case, like somebody from work is listening. Although it doesn't help much because you have translation. Hi, new here. Yo, dude, are you coding or something? Tragedy happened because of the music in the background. No, I'm just coding. I like to. I'm just here. Let me see. You know what? We're gonna play some Russian doomer music. Maybe that will spawn. Not sure because I don't know where the hell he's been. He's just forgotten about me. Just not sure. He's just completely forgotten. You know what? He didn't just forget about me. He forgot about us. And like literally, we should all take that personally. ¿Te pagan más? No pagan más. Y un otro problema es que el trabajo necesita o tienes que ir a la oficina cada día, que es guacala. Y la otra cosa, pero la otra cosa es ubicada en London. Y me preguntaron si, ¿cómo se dice? Si estoy estoy bien con el día moviendo a London y le dije a ellos que sí el salario es bien y suficiente. No creo que probablemente nada va a pasar, pero quiero hablar con ellos porque nunca sabe. Pero la otra cosa que me gusta mucho es una empresa muy pequeña, es un startup, es muy pequeña. Y yo, ¿cómo se dice? Yo estaría el tercer programador. Es bueno. Inglaterra. All right, let's try to do this. Tengo que hablar en español más porque no más tengo novia de Bolivia y no tengo mucha oportunidad para practicar. Y estoy olvidando cosas porque ayer estaba pensando, ¿qué es la palabra por eso? Creo que es codo, ¿sí? Estoy seguro es codo. No busqué, pero no confirmé. Pero es codo, creo que es un codo. Y la otra palabra que olvido es achú. Y esta palabra yo busqué por eso. Y es bostezar, creo que es bostezar. All right, let's get back to it. Okay, so we have this item pickup that we've attached to the prefab. It doesn't need a command menu, but we're going to put a command menu on it just for. Well, here's the other thing. Okay, this is an interesting thing. Sí, codo, yeah. Codo, hombro, brazo, mano, dedo, uña. I guess that's like all the words I know in English too. Oh, knuckle. I don't think I ever knew the word knuckle. And then the actual like is indige, media, anillo. It's not it's not anillo, pero es algo similar. ¿Es anillo? ¿Anillo? Esto es pulgar. Ah, fuck. Tell me the first letter of pinky. Don't tell me the word. Just tell me the first letter. I want to. I want to. It's a neat word too. And I remember I want to say Muneka, but that's wrist or doll, which I've always thought was just bizarre. Oh, it's either a wrist or a doll. Like, okay, I guess. But what the hell's what's the? I feel like the first letter is M. Let me know if the music's too loud. Grok.com. Let me see. Is it M? What is the first letter of the word for pinky in Spanish? Do not tell me the word. Just the first letter. M. Yeah, I was right. It was M. I said M. I don't think that helps me though. That's why I keep thinking Muneka. Fuck it. What's the word? I forget it. I'm so close. Meñique. See, Muneka, Meñique. I was close. I was in the neighborhood. I had the same amount of syllables. I even had that inya sound in the K sound. So, like, I think I pretty much knew the word. All right. So Creative Ez is concerned that there's something sad that is happening because I was playing sad music in the background. So now we have switched to Russian music. Okay, so here's what I'm facing now. So I have a script that I attached to the knife prefab, but the script itself needs a component. There's a like in this case, it's the command menu. So I guess what I would have to do is, where's the command? I guess I would have the command menu as a prefab itself. Where is it? It's here. I don't know if I would have put the friendly NPC menu or if I want to put the, what is it? Okay, so one is a panel, one is a canvas, the other is a panel. I don't think I probably don't want the canvas, or do I? Let's go with the panel. And the reason I'm saying that is because command menu is what we're already doing. So I guess I would want to put command menu as a prefab. And then I would go back to the knife and I would put command menu here. And that seems to work. Okay. Now, this is the old one, so let's get rid of that. Oh, wait, let's put that back. I want the, okay, the scaling is, okay, let's do this. So we have the knife. No. Wait a minute. Okay. Let's try this out. Before I judge. Okay. What we're gonna do create.
Ведь мы дети слепой страны, и мы дети панельных домов, приумноженных снов и неправдивейших слов. И даже через сотни лет я не найду ответ. И даже через сотню веков протертых насквозь, веков не видящих свет. Сколько бы дней не прошло, я не забуду того, что разрывало мне сердце, убивало надежды и мечты сожгло.
So now I have like 3 different things named because I have. This is the prefab. This is the scriptable object. So the scriptable object, I drag. No, I can't drag it there. I drag it into the hierarchy. I don't like being without the music. I like having the music. By the way, I just did a C# app with a non-recordable or shareable GUI that connects to an OpenAI API, and I'm not afraid to use it in interviews. I mean, I think I mentioned, I'm pretty sure I mentioned a few weeks ago how we've encountered that we were interviewing, and I definitely mentioned this, but there was one guy who he was obviously using AI because we would ask him a question and then he would stall for like 10 seconds after we 20 seconds after we asked the question. He's like, yes, can you tell me some of the differences between TypeScript and JavaScript? And he'd be like, yes, I can definitely tell you the differences between TypeScript and JavaScript, because the differences are that JavaScript is a transpile converter, which is like float. It's like, you're using AI. And so we decided, we talked about this, and we were thinking that probably what we should do. Because at this point, if you are a developer and you're not using AI, then you're behind. And actually, this reminds me of something else, is because, remind me to tell you about coworkers in a minute if I forget. But what we were thinking when we interview people is we tell people, like, okay, we're going to give you a complicated problem, but you're allowed to use AI, right? And we would give them something where AI, we'll see how they prompt AI and then see how they take the information they get from AI and actually apply it. So that was kind of what we were thinking about as an alternative to kind of just like embrace the AI thing. But I still have coworkers that there were a few people that were they were refusing to use AI. Like, it was like a matter of principle. Like, no, because AI is going to come and AI is going to take our jobs. And so I don't want to use AI. Like, I don't want to use it. Like, I'm so against AI. Like there were people that were like just completely against AI. And then they finally come around, and there was one person, it happened like at this point maybe like 6 months ago, and now another one just happened like the other day, where they're like, I've started using Copilot. Did you know that it could? And then they're just like, did you know that it can generate code? I asked it to write a simple program and it spit it out and it worked almost flawless. And it's like, yeah, like, where have you been? Like, I've been telling, like, I started using Copilot when it was in beta. Like, I know it's a weird flex. I'm not flexing, but I'm not trying to make it sound like I'm flexing. But I've been using Copilot in Visual Studio since it was in beta. And I was telling people about it back then. Like, you gotta check this out. It is amazing. I don't know. A lot of AI is still just very rudimentary and makes a lot of mistakes. I don't know. I was like, fucking use it, man. It's fucking amazing. So now people are they're slowly coming around, and they come to you like, did you know? Did you even know that AI could blah, blah, blah? And it's like, yeah, dude. Yeah. They were right about Mexicans taking their jobs. So now you're up in Canada taking the jobs of hardworking Canadians. All right. I've been working remotely for USA customers for about 12 years now. All right. So how the fuck do I use this? How the fuck do I use this scriptable object? I thought that I would drag it into the hierarchy or drag it onto the scene. Like, how the fuck do I do this? Like, literally, how okay. I'm going to ask it. Okay. I have created an item. I'm going to tell AI exactly what I did. Item pickup and item. Okay, let me get rid of item interactable. I don't want it to. I don't think it is confusing anything, but I don't want to confuse me. So let me get rid of that. Okay. Let me just see if that fixes it. I don't think that's going to fix anything, but let's just see. Okay, here it is. So what I want to do, okay, so I have item pickup, item interactable should be gone. And all right, let me calm down before I start getting angry again. Okay, I have an item data, I believe that's what it is. An item, where did it go? Where's the file name for this? Yes. I have an item data.cs file that looks like this. And I have a item pickup.cs file that looks like this. I have attached a I've attached a prefabbed version of command menu to the command menu in item pickup. And then I added item pickup to a prefab of a knife, of a rusty knife model figure. Okay. Then I added the item data.cs file to my assets. Or no, let's see. So I'm so confused. Okay. Wait, where did this come from? Okay. Oh, no. Then in my assets, I did create game item. Okay. So then in my assets, I did create game item and created a rusty knife. Great. And then I filled out all the info. Perfect. Now, how the fuck do I drag it into my scene? You don't drag them. All right, my friend, you're exactly where every rational Unity dev ends up first trying to bridge scriptable objects and prefabs. I did everything right, so problem recap. You created knife, but great, but scriptable objects are not drag and drop into seams. Yeah, because, that would be easy. They're data only. Okay, they don't exist. Okay, solution. Use the prefab stored in the scriptable object. You don't... So it's telling me go here. I'm not saying anything because I know. Okay. Do I literally drag the prefab that I select in the inspector of the scriptable object, or the prefab that exists in the assets panel? It seems like I would drag the one from the scriptable object, but I want to make sure because this all seems retarded. The music is louder? Oh, come on. Oh, Jesus. You're gonna make me turn the music down? Are you gonna make me just turn it off? All right, there. Now probably only I can hear it. You must go into the assets, find... Okay, wait, and drag that prefab. what the fuck are you talking about? No, dude, what the fuck are you talking about? No! What the fuck are you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about? Look, I'm getting angry. I created a fucking scriptable object. I have a... Oh my God, I'm so angry. Okay, look. I have a kitchen. Okay, calm down. Look, the name of the prefab model file on which the item pickup.cs script is also attached as a component. The name of the prefab model file on which is kitchen knife copy, and I assume is it prefab, I guess? Prefab. Okay. Is kitchen knife copy prefab. Okay. All right. Okay. I need to calm down because I'm legitimately getting angry. I'm like legitimately getting mad because this is fucking stupid. Okay, I go to create game item. Rusty knife. Dot asset. I went to the asset panel and I did create game item and named the item Rusty knife, so that now I have a Rusty knife.asset file. Okay. All right. So angry. Rusty knife. Damage score 5. Icon will be empty, and we're going to take kitchen knife, copy, and drag it into the prefab. So now I have the Rusty knife asset file. In the inspector, I fill out the name, damage score, and I drag the kitchen knife dash copy file, copy file into the prefab field. Now, are you telling me to drag the kitchen knife copy file onto the scene? Oh man, I'm so angry. Okay, it's telling me to drag this fucking prefab onto the scene. If I do that, how is that prefab associated with the Rusty knife fucking asset? Because has okay. I'm gonna okay. This is confusing. Does this mean that by putting the kitchen knife dash copy file into the prefab field of the Rusty knife item, that the kitchen knife dash copy file is somehow automatically associated with the Rusty knife.asset file, so that when I actually drag it onto the hierarchy, It's already associated? What the fuck? When AI, Razman says, when AIs attack humankind, I will tell them that you are not my friend. I tried to introduce you to Unity Tech, but you make a fool of yourself. This assumes, here's the problem I have. This assumes that the kitchen knife copy asset file, prefab file, will only ever be used with the rusty knife.asset file. Wait, the prefab script. Wait. But nothing happens automatically. The prefab script item pickup must be coded to use rustyknife.asset. Something. What the fuck are you? Wait, but now it's saying this makes no fucking sense. How is a scriptable object any fucking different than just having a fucking free floating data class? Why wouldn't I just use a plain C# class for all this shit? Let's dig into that. No, I don't want a book. I'm too impatient for a fucking novel of an answer. No, because look. This still doesn't answer my question. Okay, I drag this onto the hierarchy. Okay, great. It's there. Okay. Let's get rid of let's not get rid of this one. Let's just disable it. Okay. So now I've dragged the copy. Okay. Mesh collider, copy an item pickup script actually needs to be on the other thing. But how is the fucking item? How is this rusty knife.asset file? How the fuck is it associated with this kitchen knife that I've dragged onto the hierarchy? How? How? Let's back up. Okay. If I drag the kitchen knife -copy.prefab file into the hierarchy, how is it associated with the rusty knife? Is it, what is it? Is it rusty knife.asset file? How is it associated with the rusty knife asset file? Isn't the whole fucking point that it's supposed to be like, okay, well, I dragged the prefab down, I put the prefab onto the scriptable object. Now they're associated. But apparently not. It's not associated at all, not unless you explicitly link them. Then what is the fucking point of a scriptable object? I still don't understand what the fucking point is. The rusty knife.asset is the blueprint. Here's how to build a knife. No, it's not. It's literally not that. This knife is the model to use. But it's not, because I'm putting the model. Oh my fucking God. All this is doing is just changing how I add a scriptable component. Like, I still don't know how to add a scriptable component to a model. Like, I still don't know how to do it. So how do you link them? A scriptable object, the more I'm reading this, a scriptable object fucking God. Unity scriptable object makes no sense. Let's see what the internet says. What's the right way of using scriptable objects on Reddit? You can always trust Reddit. It's an alternative to using data in a file. Sounds like you're using it like a class instead of an instance. You make multiple scriptable objects, one for each instance of data. It's like a texture or auto file, not a component. It still doesn't make any fucking sense. I still do not see the advantage of this. And I wonder, Razman, do you legitimately see the advantage of using these? Or are you just saying I should use them because that's kind of what you've read and were told? And that's no like I realize that might sound a little asshole-ish, and I don't mean it like that, because that happens all the time. That, like, I mean, I certainly has happened millions of times to me where I'm doing something because that's the way I've been told to do it. And in a lot of cases, that is correct. Some cases, I wrap a primitive data type such as a float, int, or event in a scriptable object. This lets me drag and drop the scriptable object to components. Each component can read or write to the scriptable object, and I also have unvalued. Dude, I have hundreds of these. It works great. For a simple example, I might use a scriptable object float for holding the player's health. I create an instance of a float called player health. I can now drag this from the project window to my player script. Why wouldn't you just have it in your fucking player script? Literally. Or something like I did, where you, like, it sounds like I want to use this because from what I see, this Apron says vibe coding. No, I'm an actual programmer. I'm not vibe coding. Yes, I'm using AI, but I'm not vibe coding. I'm actually coding. All right. And this also says, but trying to change a scriptable object's value at runtime is definitely not the right way to use them. Scriptable objects should be used to store data that's not going to change at runtime, like an item's or unit's base stats, for example. For example, max health could be a scriptable object so that all units with that scriptable object have the same max health when spawned, but current health should definitely be managed individually by a script on each unit. Dude. Unless there is some like serialization magic that happens with these things, I don't see it. It's like, wait. Where did the AI go? Look at this shit. Look at this. In your item, so the item pickup, right? If you pick it up, in order to pick it up, when you pick it up, you're going to need information about the item, right? Like, I'm not saying we're doing this, but let's say you were using weight, right? And you could only pick up things that weighed less than a certain amount of kilograms or pounds or whatever. Okay. So the weight of the object would probably be in this item data scriptable object. So how the fuck does your item pickup script have access to the item data? Oh, well, you drag it over into the inspector. What the fuck is this? It's the same fucking thing. It's like it's oh my fucking god. I blame you, Razman. This is all your fault. I was hoping to get tons done but then you throw a wrench. Yes, because when I have 200 items, I can save the description and data inside the script. You don't need a scriptable object to do that. Like, you literally don't. Like, why couldn't you do it? Why couldn't you just use a struct or a class? And then you have... Okay, well, let me think about this. So let's say I had 200 of something. Let's say I had 200 knives. I'm thinking out loud. I'm trying to think it through. I'm trying to... Unity. Yeah, okay. Well, honestly, I would not consider Unity an expert on Unity. And that might sound stupid, but I wouldn't. I would not consider Unity an expert on how to use Unity, because Unity is writing Unity. They're not using Unity to write Unity. They're not using Unity. Maybe they are. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they are using Unity to write games, but they're writing an IDE. And by the nature of what Unity is, they're not using Unity to write Unity. Like, think about like Visual Studio Code. It is very possible that the programmers of Visual Studio Code, and they probably are, the programmers of Visual Studio Code are probably using Visual Studio Code to write Visual Studio Code. The programmers of Unity, unless they're doing game programming on the side, they are not using Unity to program Unity. So I would not consider Unity an authoritative source. And I would consider Unity an authoritative source of how to use the tools that Unity provides. But I would not necessarily consider Unity an authoritative source on when to use the tools that Unity provides. Right? Like, think of a hammer manufacturer. Like, are they always going to know when to use a hammer? Maybe. Probably not. But my point is, let's take... So, okay, but I want to think this through, because I want to talk this through. I want to think it through as I'm talking, because it's very possible while I talk it through, I'm going to see something that I'm not seeing right now. So let's say I have 200 knives. And so the way I would do this, before Razman threw a wrench into everything, the way I would do this if I wanted to have 200 knives, well, I have to ask the question, are those 200 knives, are they going to be dynamically allocated? Again, this is like heap stack, dynamic versus static allocation. Basically, am I going to drag 200 knives onto the scene? Or maybe I have a function that will randomly place 200 knives on the scene. Okay. Let's go with the first one, because that seems like the most manual process. So let's say I'm manually going to place 200 knives on the scene. So the way I would do this, I would have done this, is I would have my knife copy prefab. On that, I would have a item stats or item data object or class. So yeah, I guess if I had manually dragged all 200 on, that means each one is going to have their own damage, like they're going to have their own damage score, which is not showing here because it's in the scriptable object. They're going to have their own damage score. Okay. And then if I want to change the damage score, it is true, or is it? Wait a minute. Why couldn't I just have... So I'm trying. There's more to it than this, because the damage score is going to be used when you are attacking. So you would have some. Well, no, it's going to be used when you're attacking. So you do an attack, and then you know the weapon you're attacked with, that you're attacking with. So you would get the weapon's damage score. And let's say I want to update it for all 200. You would update it. Look, you know what? You would update it in the class. You would have like your item. Okay. I think I just need to do it. Let's just do it. Let's just plow forward with this. Let's plow forward with my original idea. Okay, which is get rid of this shit. Okay, so what we want. Let's back up for a minute. Let's get rid of this fucking scriptable object nonsense. Let's get rid of that. And then we have the kitchen knife copy prefab, which is good. This has the item pickup script on it. I want to get rid of that. And so what I want to do, Mesh Collide, because it's on the. I need to have the interactable script on here. I'm going to do another class in here. I can do that. I think I can. Wait a minute. Public class. I'm literally going to call it item data 2. And it's not going to be a fucking scriptable object. It's going to be a mono behavior. All right, so then it would have all this stuff here. It would have the item name and damage score. Okay. And then we're going to also interactable, and we're going to implement that. Okay. So we have the item data, the name, and the damage score. We're going to stick with those two things for now. And then we're going to have the interactable command menu and all of that. Okay, that's perfect. Now, what we want to do here is we want to drag. Okay, did I save that? Okay, that's item data. So let's go to item data. All right, come here. Come on. No. Okay, so that's the prefab. Perfect. Easy. Item data, we're going to drag as a component. Okay, item data as a component. We're going to name this. So, all right. So no. This is the prefab. So item name. So we're going to call this Rusty. The Razman Rusty Knife. And it's going to do damage of 69. Okay. Then we want to have the prefab. It has to have the command menu, which is right here. Okay. So that's all set up. Okay. So we have the prefab set up. Now, I could take. So that kitchen knife. Let me just confirm. Let me just delete this. We have the other one deactivated. So just to kind of a sanity check, if I look at kitchen knife copy, go back here, there's my item data 2 script. Okay, perfect. Now, I take this kitchen knife copy and I drag it on. And then I'm positioning it more or less where the deactivated one is positioned, which is fine. All right. Let's just move it over here. Now, let's see if I go and I just want to see if I get the little like press E to interact. It's not going to do anything, but I just want to see if it pops up. So right here, where's everybody at? Where's my knife? Here it is. Whoa. Oh, my hands are misaligned. Okay. And perfect. We get it. A C++ programmer might dismiss scriptable objects because they seem like a high-level abstraction that sacrifices controller performance. They're unfamiliar with Unity's component-based architecture and see scriptable objects as unnecessary components to traditional C++ data structures. I mean, maybe we see them as unnecessary because they're unnecessary. What you think about that? Okay, now let's ask the other question. Let's say I had 3 of these, okay? And I'm going to separate them out a little. Okay, so I have 3 of them. Now, I want to change the damage score of all 3 of them. And this does create a dilemma. How would I do that? I'm thinking. So, All right. I see the issue. So how would I use, with what I know about a scriptable object, how would I use a scriptable object to solve this? The instance... I guess what it would be... I guess what you would do is what I was trying to say. Let's delete all that. I guess what I would do is I would go... Let's see. Let's get rid of this. Let's go back to what we had, which was this. So the scriptable object, it's literally just something that Unity kind of So okay, let's go back here. It's something that the kitchen knife copy in this example. The kitchen knife copy would just kind of reference. So let's see. So we have the kitchen knife item. Okay. Where item data? Where did that come from? Oh, that's weird. Ooh, that's weird. Okay, I want to remove that, and then I literally want to remove it and then add it again because it shouldn't have been there. Okay, so kitchen knife copy. All right, and then we come down here. Easy. Okay, so we need to add the item pickup script. Add that. Okay, item pickup, and then we'll add the command menu prefab. Okay. Now, what I want is I want the hover text to tell me the damage it does, just as a simple proof of concept kind of thing. So the AI printed something. This is what it printed. Okay, item data. Okay, so now... Okay, so I guess now I would go create game item, rusty knife. And then here I would go the Razman Singleton Special. Damage score of 69. So I don't think I actually need the prefab. Maybe the icon, but not the prefab. Unless I want to. No. I don't think I need the prefab. I think maybe that actually is what threw me off. Okay, so I don't need the prefab. But we're just going to ignore it for now. Okay, so that is this. What did I just say? Okay. So then do I do this? Okay, so now my item data, the rusty knife, and then I should be able to do something like print the damage score in the help text, and then AI should be able to fill that in for me. So let me see what AI did. Press E to pick up item name, damage score. Okay, perfect. Okay. All right, so let's let that. All right. I'm more calm. Oh, wait, I didn't create an instance. I need to do that. That's kind of important. Okay, let's go back over to the scene. So now I should just be able to... That's the prefab. So it's all already fabricated, right? Yes, rusty knife, kitchen. Okay. Oh, that's the mesh. I don't need to look at that. Okay. And then, so there's that one. And then let's just create a copy. And then another copy. Let's kind of spread them out a little bit. Here. Now let's go ahead and play. All right, so yes, press E to pick up the Razman special. Okay, perfect. All right, so now if I want to change all of them to 100, let's do 101 just to make sure. And then, okay, so that's going to, okay, I get it now. I get it. I just needed to get angry for a little bit, but I get it. I still... Yeah, 101, 101. So this creates the reverse problem, right? Because what if I wanted one of these kitchen knives to have, let's say I had other things in this item scriptable object. Let's say I had other things in it that I wanted the kitchen knife to have, but I wanted it to have a custom damage score. So that does create that issue, but I guess you would just have to weigh it like, well, how many of all the same are you going to have versus of how many of all different are you going to have? And then you would choose whether to use the original method that I thought I would use or this new scriptable object method. All right. It makes a little more sense now. I think what was happening also is I was getting hung up on the fact that the AI had suggested I put a prefab in there. I think I was getting hung up on that. I get it. You win this round, Razman, but the war is not over. Just remember that. No, thank you. Honestly, thank you. All right. So it's about 9 o'clock. I accomplished absolutely nothing. I might stream tomorrow. I'm debating it. I might if I might stream tomorrow because I would like to work with, like, now that I'm like, okay, scriptable objects, like, okay, now that I have this newfound knowledge, I still think I just need like an hour or two to accomplish what I wanted to accomplish tonight before Razman actually like just derailed everything. Razman, the Singleton man, like he just completely just destroyed everything, but that's all right. That's all right. You know, sometimes you got to break a few eggs to make an omelet. All right, guys. Thank you very much. I will post, follow me on Twitter at Addy Goes Places, on Twitter or on Instagram. I will post on Twitter tomorrow if I'm gonna stream, and also if you like and if you subscribe and you hit that little bell button, then that should alert you when I start streaming regardless. But I'll let you know if I'm going to stream tomorrow or not. I'll post on Twitter. If I don't, I will definitely be back on Friday. Razman says, tomorrow we continue with Unity UI Toolkit. Fuck you. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. I will see you either tomorrow or Friday. Until then, have a great night. Have a great day. And I'll talk to you soon. All right. Goodbye, guys.